Welcome back. You're watching Live Wire and I'm Swati Joshi. Now remember viewers, in 2017, Times Now exposed the Congress cash diary, a ripped up diary recovered from one of Congress's CM contenders, DK Shivakumar, with notings of 3 crores AICC. Times Now's meticulous reporting revealed the political shield to the corrupt under Congress's Siddaramaiah, and we asked where the money trail led. Today, Times Now will reveal the systematic subversion of the fight against graft under Congress. Viewers, it's not us saying this, it's the Karnataka High Court which has blown the lid. The court has abolished the ACB setup 6 years back and called it a bid to set up a parallel body to weaken the Lokayukta. So why did the then Congress Sarkar weaken the anti-graft body? Whom was it trying to protect? Now the Karnataka High Court has come down heavily, and in scathing observations, the Karnataka High Court said that the formation of the Anti-Corruption Bureau seems to be for shielding corrupt ministers. Corrupt ministers were shielded from the watchful eyes of the Lokayukta, weakening Lokayukta to protect the corrupt. Let's go across to my colleague Siddharth is joining us from the newsroom with more details on the observations. Siddharth, according to the Karnataka High Court, this parallel system was created to take away powers of the Lokayukta or dilute powers of the Lokayukta to shield the corrupt politicians, ministers and officers as well.
Absolutely, Swati. Lots of scathing observations made in a very voluminous order of the Karnataka High Court that was issued yesterday. And foremost among them is this particular observation. And let me just take you through this. This is actually part of page 178 of the judgment of the Karnataka High Court. The ACB to shield corrupt ministers, politicians and officers. This was the intent of establishing the ACB in the year 2016, when you already had a parallel body of the Karnataka Lokayukta established under the Lokayukta Act. So why go forward and establish a parallel institution to proceed on the same cases that were also being examined by the Lokayukta? It also says corrupt shielded from watchful eyes of the Lokayukta. So you already had an entity empowered to examine and investigate people in positions of power and those who were public servants. So why would you establish an organization like the ACB there in the first place? Weakening Lokayukta to protect them from persecution. So the cases already under the ambit and the purview of the Lokayukta, which was already examining a series of politicians, why would you establish a parallel entity to pretty much do the same but also with lesser intent? Scope for the misuse of the ACB by the Chief Minister to control opponents. This is a very important observation. Why? Because the ACB vested enormous powers in the authority of the Chief Minister to direct an investigation, so it could possibly be misused to target political opponents. Scope for misuse of the ACB by the Chief Minister to control opponents. That's pretty much a follow-up observation to the observation already made about the enormous powers vested in the authority of the Chief Minister. Possibility to favor party or party men with the ACB. So if the Chief Minister is empowered to direct a particular investigation, could he not possibly also influence its outcome? That's pretty much the implication of that particular observation made by the Karnataka High Court with regards to the enormous powers exercised by the Chief Minister according to the ACB.
Right, Siddharth, stay on with us. I want to bring in Imran as well. Can just one political party be blamed? Because yes, the ACB was formed during the Congress party's regime when Siddaramaiah was the Chief Minister, but the BJP in its manifesto, in its election pledge, said it will shut down the ACB and restore powers to the Lokayukta, and went to the court saying it's, there's no basis to say Lokayukta is toothless. There is no basis to say that something is being taken away from the Lokayukta. So political party after political party only getting comfortable with this parallel institution.
Well, it's no two ways about it that the political parties want to ensure that no institutions like this doesn't come back to bite them. In fact, it was during Yediyurappa's time who had authorized Lokayukta to arrest legislators, and he himself was arrested by the Lokayukta in this case. And after the Siddaramaiah government came in, they separated the acting powers to Anti-Corruption Bureau, and Lokayukta would become a toothless tiger. Now, there is also arguments coming in that there was corruption inside Lokayukta that too. But it's about strengthening institutions. Now the BJP says that it was part of the manifesto. When our question, why didn't they implement it? They said since the matter was in court, they were waiting for it. Now the ball is at BJP's court. Now today, speaking about it, the Chief Minister said that they will, it was part of the manifesto, they'll implement it. But since it's about implementation, it will take some time. They'll have to go, consult with the Advocate General and ways to go about it, implementing it. So there is a ifs and buts about it. We have to wait and see what the BJP state government does. But it is a known fact that the politicians would like to shield themselves from any kind of scrutiny, whether it's from the public or from the institutions like this. So they'll also keep a loophole so that they can get away scot-free.
Now that the court has passed these scathing observations and has come down heavily, now the BJP is saying that they will take a decision as per their manifesto. But it's also very important to listen to this reaction coming in from the former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who's putting the onus entirely on BJP. Let's listen in.
I respect the decision of the High Court. It is for the government to take a decision. Our government is not there. Anti-Corruption Bureau is existing in so many states, not only in Karnataka. In Gujarat also, there is an Anti-Corruption Bureau. The circumstances were different when it was constituted. Now, the High Court has taken a decision that abolishing the government order. I welcome it.
Now, the court, in no uncertain terms, has made it clear that this was formed to hide maybe the wrongdoings and control the opponents, to shield the corrupt, who all were benefiting. It's very important to understand how the ruling Sarkar, irrespective of the party in power, benefited from this. Let's go across to Siddharth for more on that. Yes, Siddharth.
An important observation that was made by the Karnataka High Court during the course, of course, of deliberating as to why the ACB was set up in the first place. And during the course of those observations, it pointed out towards 5 names that had been forwarded by the Lokayukta across several years. And these people belong to different parties over time. And these names were recommended for further investigation under Section 12(3) of the Lokayukta Act to the state government. Now, that's not holding them guilty on any account, but only saying that these names need to be examined further. What are these names? Shrikant Ghotenkar, the then Congress member of the Legislative Council, and this is in the year 2019. The Lokayukta basically said, we are passing his name to the state authorities for further investigation because we see a partly or a wholly substantiated basis over the allegations made to investigate this man further. Late H.S. Mahadeva Prasad, who was a former minister in the Congress government, his name too had been recommended in the year 2014 for further examination. Krishna Bairegoda, then Congress Mantri, again in the year 2014, his name had also been forwarded to the state authorities. Raju K, then JDS MLA, who subsequently became a part of the Congress party, his name had also been forwarded. Importantly, Y. Narayanaswamy, who was the then BJP MLC, he is also part of the BJP, of course. His name too had been recommended by the Lokayukta under Section 12(3) of the Act to the state authorities for further investigation. So people across party lines here being under the scrutiny of the Lokayukta, and their names were then subsequently sent across to the state government for further investigation, not holding them guilty, basically saying prima facie there's a basis to investigate.
Right, that list has names of political leaders from across party lines. Thank you very much, Siddharth and Imran, for getting us the details. Now, the BJP stand in the Karnataka High Court was that ACB doesn't dilute Lokayukta's powers, it does not disturb Lokayukta's powers, so the petition to abolish the ACB should be dismissed. Now, listen to what the Chief Minister of Karnataka has said post the observations that came in from the Karnataka High Court.
High Court ನಲ್ಲಿ ACB ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಆಗಿದೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಆ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಸೂಚನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಆ ಮೂಲ ಪ್ರತಿ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಏನು BJPಯ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಆಧರಿಸಿನೇ ಮುಂದಿನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ